You are listening to Cameroon-link Radio. We invite you to join us by contributing to the program. Your host is James Achani Fontaine, and
Cameroon-link Radio is producing these programs in collaboration with Cameroon Community Radio Station. We are going to focus our attention particularly on infant and young child feeding and especially breastfeeding. You are welcome.
Welcome to your special health program titled Health Forum, Mother and Child Care. This edition is centered on 2018 World Breastfeeding Week with the theme Breastfeeding Support, Close to Mothers. In this special edition, and as part of activities of 2018 World Breastfeeding Week, our focus shall be on the theme Breastfeeding Support, Close to Mothers. Breastfeeding Support, Close to Mothers highlight breastfeeding pair counseling. That is, women who breastfed their babies exclusively for 6 months or more, advising breastfeeding or pregnant women on the importance of breast milk. We have realized that most nursing women from the onset of breastfeeding are able to start off well, but just in a few weeks or months, they now experience sharp drop in their attitude of breastfeeding their babies. The period when mothers do not visit health care facilities is the time when a community support system for mothers is very essential.
If you look at your agenda, you would see there is a point there, the challenges. Challenges and actions. I think Gerard has already pointed out some of the challenges. One, women thinking they cannot exclusively breastfeed. Two, starting to breastfeed is a challenge. Breastfeeding in emergency is a challenge. Involving men to support women, mothers, is a challenge. How many of the men here support their wives or their partners during breastfeeding? You ask that question, you would want to know why we're talking about challenges. Maybe I should tell you first of all why the government has decided that it should be the Federation of Cameroon Breastfeeding Promotion Associations, FECAPA, to coordinate activities of breastfeeding. FECAPA is a network of grassroots associations. We have worked with the ministry for quite some time, and the ministry has finally understood that the actions that we are carrying out are the real actions because they touch on the people in the grassroots. And one of the reasons for bringing us on board is the fact that we have insisted during planning meetings in Yaoundé that any activity that takes place where the media is not involved, it means no activity took place. It is the media that tells the population that this has happened. It is the media that tells people that this is what is happening, but it is the wrong thing. This is what should happen. So we work with community radio stations. Why? Because community radio stations are proximity radio stations, and the stations talk to the people in the language that they understand. So one of the challenges we have is how to get the community radio stations to own this activity and talk to the mothers, talk to the men. You would realize that for breastfeeding to succeed, as we are talking of only 20% of women breastfeeding, we have to involve not only the mothers, but their partners, and again, bring on board the youths. you will realize that within our community, we are having more and more teen mothers, girls getting baby at low age when they are not even yet adults. And if you travel sometimes in buses, you will find that some of these mothers, teen mothers, they are carrying their baby, and when the baby starts crying, the mother starts crying too. So if the mother who should put the baby in a tender situation is crying, who is going to help who? So we have to bring the youths on board and educate them, first of all, on reproductive health. We should educate them on the fact that if you have a pregnancy, you have to start preparing for breastfeeding. The preparation for breastfeeding starts from the day the woman realizes that her menses have stopped flowing. That is when breastfeeding starts. It's a challenge. We have to educate health workers, because most of the problems we are having with breastfeeding results from the fact that the health workers in the hospitals, in the health facilities, they give just the wrong information to the mother when the mother bears. And it is really a sad situation. You can imagine that a mother attends prenatal consultations at least 4 times before birthing, which means that this woman has been educated fully until the last moment she has to get her baby. And when she gets her baby, instead of the midwife encouraging the mother to start initiation, they start introducing artificial milk. Why? Because the formula companies go negotiating because of the market competition. It is our milk that is the best. But the danger in it is, if a mother does not start initiation of breastfeeding, what would happen is that this woman would give breast milk substitute, and this woman has to give breast milk substitute for 2 years, that is 24 months. What you, the media, should do, you should try to make a small calculation when they were saying it is also a way of reducing poverty. If you calculate that a child has to take 4 tins of milk a week, and you multiply the 4 tins times 56, looking at the market price, you would realize that you are spending more than 1 million francs on a baby. How many women save 500,000 francs in their family meetings? So it is a way of saving, unlike if she opted to breastfeed exclusively. The money she is spending on breast milk substitute would not be spent, because at the age of 6 months, at the age of 6 months, that baby has 2 teeth up, 2 teeth down in the mouth. And you would realize that that baby wants to eat everything that is on the table. You, the mother, you, the father, carrying the baby and eating, that baby would hang on your hand to put what you want to put in your mouth, in his or her mouth. All you need to do is to prepare the food in such a way that the child can swallow it. And you should put some fruit to give a taste, because what you eat, if it doesn't taste well in your mouth, the baby will not take it. It means it will not taste well in the baby's mouth. How does breastfeeding initiation start? What a nurse is required to do when a baby is bedded? It is to put the baby on the mother's stomach while cleaning the baby and the mother. Within the first 45 minutes, 1 hour, this baby will crawl to where the breast is. It is a gradual process. You don't need to force the baby. When the baby reaches where the breast is, the hormone that produces breast milk will be triggered and the first milk would come out, which is colostrum. One of the challenges is that in some of our villages, because this milk is yellowish, it is considered to be dirty milk. But the medics, the health technicians, specialists, experts, they have described it the first vaccine of the baby. Why is it the first vaccine of the baby? It is the milk that gets the shit that is in the baby's stomach out. That black shit that comes out, which is known as meconium. It is colostrum that gets it out. And when meconium gets out of the baby's stomach, it creates space for breast milk to settle. And one advantage you should understand about colostrum, it is the milk that triggers the brain of the baby to start attachment, recognition. Gerard was telling you that babies that breastfeed are more intelligent. It is true. Why are they more intelligent? They are more intelligent because they take human milk. Human milk, the milk of their babies, of their mothers. They take the milk of their mothers. And the more the mother breastfeeds, the more milk is produced. That is why it has been said exclusive breastfeeding means breast milk, breast milk, breast milk, no water, no liquids. There is enough water in breast milk. One challenge women have is that they say, this my baby sucks too much. My milk is not enough. When you hear a woman saying these two things, the two reasons are there. This baby sucks too much. The mother does not put enough time to breastfeed the baby. Because to breastfeed a baby satisfactorily, successfully, the mother has to put aside 20 minutes each time the baby has to be breastfed. How does it happen? The first milk that comes out of the mother's breast contains a lot of water. This water is produced in such a way that it should clean the passage where the milk is going to go through when the second, third, and fourth cycles would happen. And you should understand that a baby that is just born is fragile. The jaw muscles are weak. So the respiratory system is not as strong as you would expect. So you don't expect that baby to suck as a baby of 4 months, 5 months, 6 months. So you need to give time. The baby will suck a little bit, go to rest, and come back to eat. Suck a little bit, go to rest, and come back to eat. And I say 20 minutes because it is in the fourth cycle that there is real concentrated milk. And the advantages are there. The mother during pregnancy has accumulated a lot of fats and weight. It is the baby that will transform the fats that are in the mother into his or her food, and the mother's tummy will go back to a normal position. Mothers that do not exclusively breastfeed will continue to have a large tummy. If you see a mother that has given birth and 6 months, 7 months after the tummy is there, you just know that mother did not breastfeed exclusively. Because with breastfeeding, the mother goes back to her normal shape and gains her beauty. Some women say, oh, I would not breastfeed my baby because I will lose the shape of my breasts. tell this mother that you don't even know what you are saying, because a mother that breastfeeds intensively gets the breast to develop, and the breasts are shiny and more beautiful. Yes. The idea of breastfeeding is that you want to live a natural life, you want to bring up your child normally, and children that breastfeed exclusively do not fall sick regularly. And even when they fall sick, their illnesses last for very short periods. And you know that when you have a child that is not falling sick regularly, it means you're not going to go to a health facility or a hospital regularly for consultation, where you spend money. You will not be paying taxi to go to the hospital. You will not be allowing your work. Instead of going to work, you will be going to hospital. Those are the gains. The mothers that opt to feed exclusively, some have said it is impossible. I don't think I can do it for 6 months because I'm working. The Cameroon law has accorded all breastfeeding mothers 2 hours of breastfeeding hours, which means the government has already removed 2 hours out of the 8 hours that every worker has to do in a service. And it means that the mother can decide to use the 1 hour in the morning or in the afternoon. And if she wants to go to job, she can press her milk, put in a cup, and leave with the child carer. And this milk will be served to the child with a spoon. Milk that is pressed from a mother's breast is valid for 8 hours if it is put in a normal temperature in a quiet area where heat or sunlight would not reflect on it. And I would explain it in very simple terms for those who make programs in local language. You tell the mothers that when you press your milk and put in a cup, it is like soup that has been cooked by a mother. If a mother cooks her soup and puts in the kitchen and nobody tampers with it, that soup will be good for the whole day. Am I right? So it's the same. So when the mother gets the breast milk of the baby and puts in a cup and leaves with the babysitter, that babysitter can give it to the baby. And why all this? Because you want to have a baby that grows normally, and you would look around you. If you want to compare the babies that are breastfed with the babies that are not breastfed, or who use artificial milk, you would find quite a difference. Gerald has told you that these children are very intelligent, but I will tell you that the children that are exclusively breastfed are smart. They are smart. You may find that baby very small, but if the baby is fighting with another baby who was formerly fed, he will slap that baby and the baby would fall and will not get up. Unlike if he falls, he gets up, he doesn't wait. Why that attitude? It's a human attitude. We normally say, if you want a lion, give your child lion milk. And your child will grow up to be aggressive. Yes. How many times has a cow come to ask you for your milk? That you will go and take cow's milk and give to your baby. And when your baby grows up and is acting like a cow, throwing stones on you, you are the first person to be angry. The baby did not ask you for that. You gave it. And it is the gene of the cow that is acting on the baby and not the gene of the human being. It is human milk, which means that breast milk brings up children humanely. And it's something that we have to get people to understand. How many parents here don't want children that are intelligent? If you go to any primary school, secondary school, even at the university, and look at the results of those children that are always within the first 10, look at their background, ask from which families they come, and investigate, you will realize that most of these children are from families where some of the mothers have not. And because they knew they did not have, they concentrated on feeding the baby exclusively. I'm saying this because most of the homes are using artificial milk because they say they have the money. But here it's not a problem of money, it's a problem of natural upbringing. Yes. And most children that take artificial milk, and the mothers are always putting teeth in the child's mouth just to deceive the baby. You would realize that when a child has the teeth in the mouth, it deceives the baby that the baby is suckling, and what happens is that this baby is producing saliva regularly that this baby is swallowing, and it has a negative effect. So one of the big challenges we have is to convince our population to tune themselves in a way for behavior change. I would want to end here since there is going to be an opportunity for you to ask questions. Thank you very much.
I know that some journalists very soon for the newsroom. Are there questions, please?
Well, it's not a question. It's just an observation. But we saw that poor exclusive breastfeeding in Cameroon is about 20%. I think there is a reason for this, because first of all, antenatal clinic, attendance in antenatal clinic, I think Laurentine will not disprove me, is maybe maximum 40-45% in Cameroon. And it's during this antenatal clinic that a woman is taught how to breastfeed, breast hygiene, etc., etc. If this component is low, it will obviously mean that the exclusive breastfeeding will be low. But to the level of 20%, it means that there's at least another component that is associated to it. And this should be, according to me, is maybe poor sensitization of the communities. Because I know that for the 40% that come to the ANC, at least they are taught of exclusive breastfeeding. Yeah, which means that we could have at least about 80% if all of them are exposed to the methods. At least about 80% should be breastfeeding. So which means that there's a component that I think is maybe, is it social or something, social factors that should be addressed. Yes, we should not limit only in informing, informing maybe the journalists to inform the population or the nurses to inform the population. There's a social component there which should be addressed. Thank you. I think let me just end there.
Yes,
let me just complete what you were saying. When a woman in postpartum, when we take water to the hospital, it's not for the baby. It's for the mother. Some people even take Beaufort and Pamembo. It's to increase the flow of breast, not for the child. I think that is just what I wanted to clarify.
Okay, Dr. But I think when I talked about the 5 circles of support, there is the component of family and community and Jangi house, and those are probably the component that is
neglected.
Yes, which is probably neglected. But in the 5 circles of support, stress emphasis on that.
Let me say something. He just quoted something. Women taking alcohol. Yes. I'll give you a small story of our investigation in Bonabel. There is one Muslim lady who got her baby and was receiving visitors, and some neighbors who are ladies, because they know when a woman gives birth, there's always beer to drink and celebrate. These ladies asked, but your husband has not bought you Beaufort. It became a song until the lady had to ask the husband, but why is it that other women give birth and they give their Beaufort? It's my case. You are not making as if it is important. My friends have come and told me that I should ask you for Beaufort. In fact, we made an investigation and realized that this woman, to get her peace of mind, for the husband to have a peace of mind, he bought 2 bottles of Beaufort and left with this lady. This lady has not been drinking Beaufort. She drank, got drunk, went to sleep, and was lying in the bed with the baby and slept on the baby. Yes, this is a real story. So when we came back, they realized the baby was not in normal state. This baby was taken to the hospital. They kept the baby in the hospital for some time to observe, and they asked the mother, what did you eat? What did you drink? Then she told this story that I'm telling you, that she drank Beaufort. So in the hospital, they immediately knew that it is the Beaufort that got the baby, who probably suffered, to go to sleep too, because the baby was drunk. And you should understand, I'm saying it for you to understand that alcohol runs very fast in blood than water. Yes. So it is forbidden for any mother who breastfeeds to take alcohol. First of all, when you take alcohol, you are changing the milk. It's no more milk. And women who drink and breastfeed or feed their babies, they will find that their babies are always very thin. They don't gain weight. So and the brain is not developing normally. So these are a few things that you should be able to have and use them as argument. We went to the brewery to ask, because it is already in my hand. I'd like to raise 2 issues. The first issue has to do with one of the issues Mr. James Achani Fontaine raised concerning the nature of the breast of a young girl. Many of them who don't breastfeed will complain, or they have the intentions of keeping their breast firm. But I remember I talked with a medical doctor who talked about some fillers that keep the breast firm, and that with time, with age, whether you breastfeed or not, the breast will form, will sap. So it is important to raise this issue. To raise the issue, either you are breastfeeding and making the child to remain healthy and strong, or you stop breastfeeding and the breast will still fall. Breastfeeding or not breastfeeding, the breast will still fall. Those are clear issues to be explained. And then in communication too, we have to avoid some nitty-gritty, some details that may be contested, like the issue of age. Is appropriate nutrition. In a child who has a good foundation and one who doesn't have, if they have the same teachers, they will not have the same performance. So it is something which is clear, it's scientific proof, so they don't argue that. That one is very clear. It's clear. And everybody in the WHO report of UNICEF, so it's clear. So it's a scientific fact. They don't argue that anymore.
Okay, I just want to also contribute and say something. I think Julius's contribution is very, very apt in the sense that as communicators, it is very important what goes out for consumption. And I think that's where he's trying to draw the line, where he's trying to say that maybe we should lay more emphasis on those practical issues which we see. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is, I didn't hear him mention it, maybe he forgot. What of the mother who passes away and leaves a baby? Now, we have lots of cases where something happens and the mother passes away, but there's a baby. I think that their experiences, and maybe he will add something to that. Other women can breastfeed a baby. That has always happened. And I know that scientifically there is talk of a breast milk bank where healthy women donate breast milk which is kept in a bank for those cases where maybe the mother passes away or the mother is unable to breastfeed, and those children will benefit from the breast milk in the bank and they grow normally. I just wanted to add that.
Yes, thank you very much, Doctor. The issue of milk banks is just being discussed in Cameroon today because, first of all, we needed to convince mothers to know what they are carrying with them, which is breast milk and useful for children. There are only 20% of mothers breastfeeding. And if we encourage more mothers to breastfeed, and we talked about the breast banks like it is in South Africa, in Sweden, in Finland, these milk banks will be very useful for emergency situations. We are talking of exclusive breastfeeding, but there are situations where some mothers would not breastfeed. Yes, especially those that come out of delivery with a very complicated surgery. They would not obviously, because of pains, they would not obviously start breastfeeding. But as the doctor said, what is being encouraged now is breast milk is breast milk. And very often, there are some mothers that are volunteered to give part of their breast milk to the baby that did not have the advantage of having a mother. And it has worked. These babies have grown up normally like other babies because breast milk is breast milk. It's a very good thing, and I think that is an area where we have to also advocate. We are advocating for blood donation banks. We should also advocate for breast milk banks because in our modern society today, there are mothers who are probably for one reason or the other not accepting to breastfeed. So like in situations of HIV, some mothers just say, no, I'm not correct, so I will breastfeed. And health authorities have realized that there are mothers that are HIV who give birth to babies that are not HIV. So why deprive this baby of something which is natural? It can be negotiated. You can look for a close relative who is breastfeeding to breastfeed this child, or any woman who volunteers. In some hospitals where breast milk banks are created, it is advertised, and many women go to donate their breast milk in exchange of a gift from the hospital. And that is the way we can encourage it, because you see on earth today nothing goes for nothing. And it's something that you people should advocate. Thank you.
Just to add on the issue of the breast bank, the breast milk bank, we actually started in 2009 when I was in the regional hospital. We actually had a bank, and we were working with the Baptist Mission. They had somebody, a consultant, who came and was working on that project. And again, one of the unfortunate things why it did not work out was because most families were not informed about it, people were not informed about it, and there was a lot of questioning. Taking milk, which is not from my family, or who the milk. So I think again, as you said, those are issues which have to work on and reactivated and make sure that. And I think maybe you should get in touch with the Baptist Mission in Motengene. I think they still have that project they're trying to work.
Thank you, Dan.
We forgot telling you about this document. There's a document like this that all of you have. Yes. This is, yes.
Thank you. Please, I want to react with respect to the key messages, like what the President just said. There are some key messages that are for the media, and there are some messages that should be used by health personnel. That's my own opinion, because something like a message like talking about a positive mother breastfeeding a baby, but before delivery, that mother must have been counseled by health personnel to take an option. So I think the media should have their own key messages, and the health personnel have their own messages to work on. Then talking again about the 20% of children who are exclusively breastfed. Most often this information is gotten from reporting tools. Most often the tools are not being filled adequately, such that the information that is gotten from there is reduced. If it is from a survey, I would say it is okay, because a survey like go around, but if it's most of the information that are being analyzed are from the reporting tools, you see reproductive health tool, people are not filling it adequately. So it is good information, but I think from what I have been observing, it should be more than 20%. But it is not enough. It is not enough.
That 20% comes, it's a survey that was done in 2011. It's a survey. It's a survey.
It might not even be more than 20%. Except the statement there is not just breastfeeding. They say exclusive breastfeeding. Most of them, about 90%, they breastfeed. But they mix it with water, they mix it with pap at 2 months, 3 months. This child will kill me, he suckles so much. That is it. Me, I think that definition is correct. For
of it. Many people will ask too many questions about that. But if we could go seriously into proximity communication, I think we will do much to it. It is to encourage the young girls to do exclusive breastfeeding. Most of them will not want to take it for the pride of it. And they want to. When I was growing, for instance, exclusive breastfeeding was what was going on. I breastfed for 5 years. Yes, I did that for 5 years. Today, the other aspect that has come up, and then we are coming in maybe probably late, is that when the companies came in, they told us that that company milk was better. And in the villages, they think that because you have money, that's why you can feed your child with that money. So we have to go against that one, because many people in the local communities still want to feed their children.
Substitutes to mothers is prohibited by the law of this country. Prohibition of promoting products in healthcare system. So there should not be no. The information provided by the manufacturers and distributors to health professionals and scientists must be confined to facts. Each package or label shall clearly indicate the superiority of breastfeeding. Breastfeeding is always superior to any other milk. And all products must be of good quality. The deadline shall be indicated. Terms like humanized or formula are not allowed. So like humanized milk or a humanized formula are not allowed. So you have it in your press kit. This is the code, especially for those who are working in health facilities. This is going to be of use.
Enough time to be here, and I hope this short workshop has been useful. And we hope that we're going to pass on the information to those who have not had the opportunity to be here. And this is just the first activity, which means that the civil society organizations and associations that are close to you, you could go towards them and look for space and pass this information to them. There is a whole week that has been put for these activities in other regions. We have which can put you together and get you also to get yourself known to our mothers. We know assistance is very often in associations when the woman gives birth, other members of the association bring gifts and they come and help in doing other households. Men are supposed to support mothers, and there are quite a good number of ways to do that. So I wish you
Breastfeeding support close to mothers. Breastfeeding support close to mothers highlight breastfeeding pair counseling. That is, women who breastfed their babies exclusively for 6 months or more, advising breastfeeding or pregnant women on the importance of breast milk. We have realized that most nursing women from the onset of breastfeeding are able to start off well, but just in a few weeks or months, they now experience sharp drop in their attitude of breastfeeding their babies. The period when mothers do not visit health care facilities is the time when a community support system for mothers is very...
That is where we come to the end of the program today. We invite you to join us for the next episode on Cameroon-link Radio.
Essential.
Abang benda to nini, abang benda to, ache wei to nini, abang benda to nini, abang benda to nini.